our guest on today's show is one of the most well-known investors in Indian capital markets, Mr. Madhusudan Kela. A very popular face as a leading panelist on CNBC, TV18, ET Now, Bloomberg, Z Business, and many more. He has been the Chief Investment Officer for over a decade and managing the equity portfolio of the largest asset management company in India. Mr. Madhu Kela has been profiled by Forbes and Asia Money, and now it is our turn to have him with us at Insights with Nidhi. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you, Nidhi. It's a pleasure. I'm so glad that even in this lockdown period, you are trying to help lakhs of people by connecting them and ensuring that they get the wisdom of people like Mr. Tyagi and many others. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor, sir. And quizzing him today is none other than our very dear Dr. A.K. Tyagi, who is heading Haldiram Group of Companies as Executive Director. He is responsible for everything that happens at Haldiram, whether it's production, sales and marketing, R&D, product innovation, diversification, expansion, everything. So welcome to Insights with Nidhi, Tyagi sir and Madhu sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Kela sir.
Thank you, Tyagi ji. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you in this podium. Thank you so much.
Tyagi sir, I will leave it to you to begin our questions with Madhuji.
Yeah. Madhuji, my question is regarding to MSME sector. As we all know, the MSME sector is under lot of the stress because of the liquidity crunch and sudden shock of the lockdown from the last 3 months. What is your suggestion to MSME in these troubled times?
So, sir, MSME actually is the backbone for the country. And, you know, there are lakhs and lakhs of units into MSME sector. There is undoubtedly people have been impacted at various degrees. You know, किसी का तो पूरा ही धंधा एकदम हिल गया है और किसी को मार्जिनल इम्पैक्ट भी हुआ है. इसमें दो बातें जो अच्छी है सर कि गवर्नमेंट हैज रिकॉग्नाइज्ड दैट देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम and they have also tried to do their bit in terms of resolving the problem. My suggestion is, sir, first I heard a very a genuine and a good banker that, you know, A is to acknowledge the problem. कि पहले आप acknowledge कीजिए problem को, you go and get a good ear of the banker if you have loan. And tell him that this is a genuine difficulty which I have got into. So I need help, and I am sure people will, in a way, help in this environment. The second thing, sir, is more not a financial related thing, but which has worked for me, is to have a very positive attitude in life, you know, because this is not a time to feel negative. This is not the time to feel कि ये मेरे साथ ये क्यों हो गया, भगवान ने मेरे साथ ही क्यों कर दिया, because you know it's like the whole world today is in a problem.
Yeah, definitely we have to face the challenge
and we have to
see it and convert the challenge into the opportunity.
Exactly. Third point is that, you know, you have to, these times you have very little control on your revenue, so you have to only look at your cost base. What is it which you can do to maximum possible extent? Where can you cut the cost? And where can you cut all the flab? And you will be surprised how cost cutting is going on. Like Titan Industries, which is one of the leading companies in FMCG, they declared their results. There is a massive amount of cost cutting which is being done even by large companies. So of course, smaller companies have to be more attentive at this point of time. Fourth, I would say, sir, obviously wherever you can raise equity, and if you are a reasonable size player, sir, ये इसमें क्या होता है? यहाँ पे मैं मेरा experience share करना चाहूँगा. People have stuck up on the valuation कि नहीं जी हमको तो 100 करोड़ चाहिए, because we felt that XYZ was able to get 100 crores. So we also want 100 crores. चलो कोरोना है तो 10 करोड़ discount दे देते हैं. So, you know, in these kind of times, that attitude doesn't work. you have, if your survival is at stake, and if you feel क्या हो जाएगा, you know, if you're a private company 10% stake कम हो जाएगा, but if you survive, of course, then you can build it again. So I would say raising equity wherever possible is also one of the strategy. And last is that if you feel that the problem is unsolvable, and if you feel that you've really got stuck, then you should work on resolving that problem. So you have a life ahead of you. Now there are multiple ways of resolving a problem. You can go and amalgamate with someone. You can sell your company to someone, or you can go today. These days there are NCLT. There are various other options. त्यागी जब मेरे अनुभव से मैं ये बोलूँगा कि at this point of time, hope should not be a strategy.
It should be positive attitude.
It should be hope should not be a strategy. ये देख लेंगे जी कुछ ना कुछ तो हो जाएगा. मतलब that should not be a strategy. The strategy should be very concrete because the problem is unimaginable. What we have never faced in our lifetime. So the response has also to be very, very positive, very firm, very clear.
Right.
Madhu sir, the government has announced a lot of relief measures. Are they sufficient for the MSME sector?
Nidhi, whatever the government does in this kind of environment is never sufficient. One cannot say that anything is sufficient. And we have to also acknowledge that the government has its own constraint. So it is not that we are like America, wherein we have our own reserve currency and we can print trillions of dollars. That is not the same case. So government has to also, I'm not trying to justify what the government has done or not done, but I'm just telling you a background on which these policies are being framed. So I would say because we don't have a reserve currency, we have to look at our credit rating. And within the constraint, I think government has tried to do their best. And what I hear from my banker friends, that finally it is all getting implemented. So finally people have started to get relief. Now the question is again that back to the entrepreneur. What is your level of relationship with the bank you have? What has been your balance sheet till now? What has been your track record till now? If your track record and balance sheet has been nice, then I think you will get a lease of life, at least for next 1 year.
Also, in continuation with what you answered with the Dr. Tyagi earlier, what is your learning to avoid total failures and your suggestions to the MSME in terms of concrete plan to survive this crisis?
So Nidhi, I'll come back again, what I was touched with Dr. Tyagi, that, you know, to my mind, this is not a financial battle. This is more a mental battle. That, you know, if you can remain positive, if you can remain constructive, if you know that, you know, we have seen so many pandemics, so many adversities in our life. Just imagine that people are panicked with a 3-month. I'm not trying to demean this crisis, but people are panicking with 3 or 4 months of coronavirus. What would have happened when there were World War I and World War II? Even countries and people survived with that. We have seen so many pandemics. We have seen so many crises. Like in 2008, institutions like Citibank and Morgan Stanley were also to go bankrupt. You know, Lehman Brothers actually went bankrupt, but we came out of there also. Even in India, we have seen so many crises of fractured government and oil price going up to 140, 150. We know one thing for sure, that, you know, human has the capability to defeat any situation which may arise. And today we are living in a technology world. So when the crisis happens, every time a large crisis happens, people think it is the end of the world. But by experience, we know that it is never the end of the world. You know, it is a crisis. At that time, it looks very, very deep. So first and the foremost is to ensure that you have a very, very good positive set of mind. Second thing is to survive. Be paranoid about risk taking. Just because something has not hit you, just don't go in adventure because Madhu Kela said that I have a positive mind and I must go and do a large acquisition because my balance sheet is not stretched. मतलब अभी आ बैल मुझे मार नहीं करना है. So that's another point, that we have to make sure that we survive through. We are paranoid about risk. Third is about leverage, because as Mr. Tyagi, who runs a very large business, will agree with me that the biggest enemy at this point of time, Nidhi, is the leverage. That अगर आपका खुद का पैसा है तो थोड़ी कमाई कम हो जाएगी, ज़्यादा हो जाएगी, थोड़ा नुकसान भी हो जाएगा, you can still you can still survive through it. But if it is a leverage balance sheet, Vyaj is the only thing which doesn't sleep in the night also. It keeps working 24/7, 365 days in a year. So you have to make sure that with your leverage is manageable. It is well within the limit. Then the other points specific about the business which I mentioned, that you have to take a practical view of your business. If there is a problem, go and speak to a banker, explore opportunities of equity raising, and things which we repeated.
Yeah. In continuation of another question, our first quarter of financial year 21 is almost wiped out and business activity not gaining the momentum. What are your view on Indian economy going forward for the rest of the quarter of financial year 21 and also for financial year 22?
So, sir, in financial year 21, even though I am not the economist, but whoever has come, because the first quarter is completely wiped out, there are various projections from 0% growth to -5% growth for this year. And I think that is entirely possible, because if you're growing at 8% and if 2% is completely wiped out and things are not yet improved, and we have to keep in mind that we have to all function even going forward in a very cautious manner. We have to do social distancing, and I'm sure your businesses are facing the same issues which everyone else is facing. So I would say, economy for 21 will be anywhere between 0% to -5% growth. I hope it doesn't deteriorate any further. And so people must, the only good news, Tyagi Sahib, is that, various parts of the country are opening, various parts of the world are opening, and we are seeing wherever the world is open, after the coronavirus part 1 was over, like China has opened, like Taiwan has opened, like Australia has opened, like Italy has opened. People are careful. They are doing everything which is hygienically possible. But the second wave of virus has not been as strong till now. So, whatever best we can do in this time, without a hope that things will be back to pre-COVID level in the next 3 months, I don't think that is the right mindset to have right now. So 2021 will be very slow. It will be negative. But I hope, 2022, things will bounce off significantly. So I would not be surprised on a low base. In 2022, you have a 10% growth back. Obviously it depends on a lot of factors, how this virus is spreading, how the whole economic situation is shaping out. But I am quite hopeful about 2022. So but we have to, again, I will repeat, we have to survive through this time to be able to see good time.
So according to you, this will be V-shaped recovery or U-shaped recovery?
I think into 22 it will be V-shaped. You would have made a base in 21 and there will be V-shaped recovery. And let's not forget that there are many industries which will actually change the whole shape. Or there are a lot of new industries will come, a lot of old industries may die down. Like, sanitizer was not even an industry. Now I'm being told it will be a few thousand crore rupees industry in the next 1-2 years.
Very big industry.
And I am sure a lot of plastic packaging people will benefit out of the growth in the sanitizer, in this plastic PT kits and the medical equipment which are being provided. So it's a good news for a lot of people, as it is a bad news for a lot of them.
Yes, also just adding on from the other sessions, what I've heard is that this PPE that in the hospitals, the overalls that are required, a lot of our converters have been putting up lines for the non-wovens. It has become a new vertical because it is immediately required from everywhere, whether it's the masks or the material that is made and also the machines that is required to stitch it and all. So the whole new vertical has opened up with this pandemic also.
Exactly.
Madhu sir, in crisis times, we've always seen a lot of corporate action in the form of mergers and acquisitions and also forced sellouts. Do you advise companies to look out for strategic M&As for survival at this point of time?
I would certainly, depends on your own financial health and your own overall risk-taking capability. As I said, never cross the Lakshman Rekha, Because the biggest enemy of a human being in the corporate world, Nidhi, is the greed. That, you know, once you become excessive greed, then you start committing mistakes. So if your balance sheet permits, this is the time when there are a lot of acquisition opportunities will be available. A lot of people will look to merge companies with your companies. And if the past has to go by anything, you know, even a successful company like Reliance has always acquired companies in the stress times, and that is how they have grown. We know the example of Mosel, we know the example of IPCL, you know, so many acquisitions which they have done. So this is a good time for people who have the balance sheet to definitely look for acquisitions and merger opportunities.
Okay, continue the same. The companies at this point of time have to raise the money, may not get the valuation whatever they expect at this time. So what is your advice? In which form they have to raise the money?
As I said, that, you know, again, it is a prudent mix of debt and equity. If your balance sheet is strong enough, then you should have some amount of debt, you know, even in these times, because no corporate should always look at a zero debt situation. Because if it is a capital intensive business and if you are looking at a zero debt situation, then your ROEs will not be good even in a good time. So it is a basically mix of good debt and equity. But about equity, the only thing which I will say that, you know, do not, as I told you in the beginning only, do not wait for the best valuation, because the best valuation was what at a particular time. The times have changed. So you have to recognize that yes, the times have changed. Now I'm not getting 100, I'm getting 80 or I'm getting 90. But if I really need the money, even 80, 90 is good enough. So the people who have taken this practical approach, Tyagi Saab, in the past, the companies which I have known, and I have dealt with all kinds of companies. So the people who have waited for valuation, they've actually ended up destroying their whole company. And we have many examples in the corporate India, in the listed space, that, you know, even let's say, forget what we are talking about, private companies. MTNL and BSNL were very, very valuable companies 10 years back. You know, if the government decided that yes, they wanted to sell, they would have got lakhs of crore rupees at that point of time by sale of these assets. Now you are seeing what is happening to that asset. So if you know already that you are in a weak situation, you need to be very prompt and you need to act decisively to ensure that you are able to raise the equity, you are able to do merger, acquisition, whatever it is, to save whatever is left.
So your suggestion to raise the money by capital or by debt?
By combination.
At this time,
I
particularly.
would say combination. If you can raise more equity, then you should look for more equity at this point of time. Because times are uncertain.
Madhu sir, can the Indian entrepreneurs, because our industry has majorly a lot of entrepreneurs, can they expect some shift in business because of the little bit of anti-China sector segment, or you think it all comes down to delivery at the best cost at the end of the day?
No, I wouldn't say that. A lot of people I speak to and a lot of my friends who are in consulting firms, etc., they are telling me that there is a discussion, serious discussion, which is taking place to have an alternate source other than China. That doesn't mean everything which gets manufactured in China will get shifted here. And that also doesn't mean nothing will get shifted. But again, you know, it will happen, but it is a slow process. Let's not fool ourselves that it is going to happen next quarter. You know, no big company takes decision of investing hundreds and thousands of crore rupees. And plus the government policies have to also be proactive in order to accommodate these investments, because they will have a lot of requirements, including labor laws, including making sure that there is a 10-year commitment to a tax structure, etc., etc. But I would say definitely some amount of investment will come into India, but it will depend on individual entrepreneurs, what you can grab out of what is coming.
Yes, and this whole mantra of localization versus globalization, this is what we are hearing across, that people want to have their entire supply chains, their vendors, more local now than global, after this pandemic has shown that what sourcing from across the world could actually lead to.
Nidhi, if I can add on the localization point, our Prime Minister is very, very clearly telling us that Atmanirbhar Bharat is what the government is working towards. I think this throws phenomenal opportunity for a lot of industries, including the plastics and processing industry. Because if we have to become Atmanirbhar, which is very, very clear then, that you will have a lot more protection to the local industry than you have today. And if entrepreneurs can clearly read what the Prime Minister is trying to say, I think this crisis would have actually got converted into a very big opportunity.
Perfect, sir.
Because what all the government did, Tyagi Saab, in last 2 months, minus this crisis, and is my experience, whether it was 91, 2001, 2013, whenever we are hit with a big crisis, the biggest of the reforms happen. And what has happened in coal mining, what has happened in mining, what has happened in agriculture sector. Like a farmer from my village actually will be able to come to Mumbai and sell his produce. This we have been trying for last 30 years. So it will happen it will benefit a lot of industries, including the industries in which you are operating.
Why Indian companies does not make major investment in the foreign? However, other multinational companies are making lot of the investment in India, but at the same time, Indian entrepreneur does not make the investment outside the India.
Sir, I think there are select entrepreneurs who are making investments, like you have seen the House of Tata.
Most of the companies are not making the investment.
The Vedanta, I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs who have made investment. Let's acknowledge that the size of our companies are relatively smaller as compared with the global companies. And abhi sabko yahan local, if you are used to a 6, 7, 8% GDP growth rate, you don't find 1, 2%, 3% GDP growth rate of UK or America to be exciting enough to make a large investment. Plus, our cost of capital is very different than their cost of capital. Plus, a lot of foreign companies which are making investments in India, they are seeing a large domestic market in India. And that is why they are attracted to make investment in India.
So it is majorly due to the big market of India.
Exactly.
Finally, what is your advice for the investment? If somebody have the capital, so his priority allocation of the fund should be equity, mutual fund, billion, or real estate, or combination of one or two.
I think it has to be, for a normal investor, it has to be a combination of all. You have to have a diversified portfolio, which constitutes of gold, fixed income, equity, and debt, essentially. Because for someone like me, who eats, sleeps, breathes only equity, it is a different matter. I only invest in equity majorly. But for a normal person, you have to have a diversified portfolio. And in the diversified portfolio, if you allocate, let us say, if you have allocated, I want to have 50% equity, and because the markets have come down, every 6 months you should periodically review it. So when the market will come down, you will allocate some amount of money from other sources and put it in equity. And when the markets will go up, you will take out money from equity and put it in other forms of investment. So it rebalances itself. But like every other crisis, I would say if you have money, it's certainly a good time to make investments. But let me tell you, we all consider ourselves smart. We have still a long way to go. But the Indian woman Indian housewife has turned out to be the smartest investor, because they are the one who only bought gold, and gold without making any effort, no volatility, nothing, has given absolute exceptional return as compared with debt or equity, or even equity now. So that should continue to be, regardless of, sometimes we see that the price has come from 5,000 rupees to 45,000 rupees. Is it too high? I would still say some allocation in gold is still advisable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think not only the Indian, as you say, the immunity system, because of all the spices and ginger and garlic that we've been eating, it has helped us. But also the psyche on investing in gold, that has also come very handy. So Indians overall have been very lucky.
Big time, Nidhi. India is estimated to be more than $1.5 trillion of gold reserves. $1.5 trillion, which is roughly 60-70% of our annual GDP.
So that may be also the highest percentage in the whole world versus how
It must
people
be.
save.
It should. It must be. It
It
must be. It must be.
Excellent. Tyagiji, do you have any other question for
I think I
Madhuji?
have covered.
But Madhusa, I think your advice has been very helpful to our entire industry people who will be watching this show, not only entrepreneurs like me, but also corporates, leaders who will be hearing under your overall guidelines to help them to make important decisions, whether it's going to be cutting their OPEX, being very careful in taking risks in CAPEX, looking out for new opportunities under this Atmanirbharta mission that our Prime Minister has given, and also knowing when to go in for M&As. That is going to be a very, very specific decision, what valuation to expect, and then prepare ourselves for the V-turn recovery that's going to come in 2022, hopefully. Thank you so much for your time, Madhuji and Dr. Tyagi. And
Thank you.
we are going to see you soon on the other side. Thank you again.
Thank you, Nidhi.
Thank you, Dr.
Madhuji.
Tyagi. And thank you,
Thank you so
Nidhi. Wonderful. Keep doing the good work. All the best. God bless.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Don't miss any video from Insights with Nidhi. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon at the bottom of the video.